Hello, my name's Rachel and I have recently separated from my partner of 11 years. Back in January, I asked him for a separation and he said no. However, I was determined to leave and also didn't believe that it is somebody's right to tell you no to staying in a life with them. I have 2 children and I had the ability to buy him out of the house, but he just kept saying no to me. I posted a reel yesterday about how I got him to leave and mentioned about my solicitor and the role that they played. But I'm still getting asked, how did he actually leave? So I'm going to explain that to you now. So like I said, my solicitor got into the mind of my ex and thought about the fact that the only way we were going to get him to go or get him to agree to do anything is by thinking that he is winning. So we offered him 2 weeks to buy me out, to get a mortgage and to buy me out. That came with a risk, obviously, because if he could buy me out, it did mean that I would have to leave. However, he hasn't worked for the best part of 16, 17 months. And therefore, I wasn't convinced that he would be able to buy me out, which is the reason why I took the risk. We gave him 2 weeks to come back to me with a response. And if he didn't reply, then we would be taking him to court because he has ignored every single request to move forward with this. And I have the means to buy him out. And therefore, I had a very solid case in court. So we did that. And he came back and said, I can't get a mortgage. Rachel would need to buy me out. So then I did a little victory dance, cried a lot, and then we agreed on when he would leave. I wanted 2 weeks, we settled on 4 weeks. So he needed 4 weeks to find a rental and then leave. What I had to do in the meantime was get a mortgage, which I already had in principle anyway. I had to give him some cash up front in order for him to go and get his rental. And then I had to just be patient. I also had to write down everything in the house that we would share. So that was how I did it. And then he left on the day that he agreed. And he had to leave because once we completed, the house was legally mine. So he'd effectively be squatting. So that's what I did. And that was as the result of 6 months prior to that, fighting him and him completely saying no to everything. So what you're seeing is the output of 6 months worth of fighting before we reached an agreement, because he just point blank refused to do anything. But that is what happened. Any questions? Put them in the comments or DM me, as I know a lot of people don't really like talking on Instagram, particularly about something so sensitive.